pra trás, não joga pra trás. Na costa, na costa, na costa, na costa, na costa, na
So take your sit your drunk ass on that fucking runway, ho. Don't need nobody, don't need nobody, don't need nobody, don't need nobody.